Welcome back to A's for Addict. Good to see you again. Good to have you here. For those here for the first time, it's simply just a story of my life through addiction, 20 years of it, and all the chaos and all the turmoil, the pain, the hurt, and then finally leading to a light, into recovery. So thanks for joining, and let's get into it. So book 20 I ended when I left my brother's place and I went back to Rosettenville, where life continued for me as an addict. It became a whole lot worse though. Things really took a nasty turn. I started withdrawing into myself and not really wanting to mix or be near anybody. I started really being a loner, and I think which is the worst thing. I started drugging alone. I started arranging my own things. I really became alone. In this time, I had again been arrested a couple of times and let off, and eventually I got arrested and I fought to book myself into rehab. At the courts, I told the court that I'm a drug addict after they had seen all my cases, and I pleaded that I could please go to rehab. This would take a good couple of weeks, as they'd send a psychologist through to the prison as well to interview me to see if I should go to rehab. This all happened. So for a couple of weeks I did stay at Sun City Prison. I lived there for a while waiting to go to rehab, and then eventually the chance came, and I was sentenced to Magaliesoord. I was sent back there under section 296, which means I must go to rehab. If I do anything wrong, then I'll go straight to prison to work off the rest of my time. And so I went to Magaliesoord, which I was once again too happy. I mean, that was the place I liked to be. I stayed there a while. I mean, when I first got there, one of the first things I'd done when I got there in the first week, I had a tattoo. I had a tattoo done. Funny enough, nobody's ever asked me about it. It's really a crappy prison tattoo. There is a picture of it behind me there. But you'll see on that picture, there's in the dice, there's a 1 and a 4, which is for a birthday. It's the 14th, and on the other dice is a 2 and a 6, which is the 26th, which is my birthday. So it's mine and Jordan's birthdays. And then above the cross you'll see Roman numerals. Those Roman numerals are, if counted out, work out to the letter S, and that was for my first wife's name, for Susan. So it's Susan, myself, and Jordan that are on that tattoo. You'll see that there's a J there for Jordan. I never put an R for me because I was basically missing in his life. And so that tattoo did have a bit of meaning for me. It's actually on my chest over here. But at the same time, I was only there a week. I had that done. They caught me and they put me in a sort of isolation for a week. I had to stay there before I could go down to the main camp, which I done. Eventually, I went down to the main camp. I saw somebody else I had known for a while, Paul. So I went into his bungalow where he was staying, and I stayed there with them. Like I said, I became once again completely dedicated to my recovery. First couple of weeks and all, I was sick. I went through a hard time. Then I started getting better. I started going to gym again. I started praying at night with the guys. I used to lead the prayers at night in my bungalow. I used to make it quite interesting for them. I used to tell them different stories of the Bible in my words. The story of Lot and the story of Job, and all stories that I could remember through my past. Like I said, I'd always been an avid Bible reader, so I tell them stories, they'd enjoy it. And that's how it would be each and every morning, each and every night. I was quite comfortable there. Once again, I was comfortable and I was happy where I was. Eventually I met this girl there, because it was a mixed rehab. They were on the just over a fence from us, and I met this girl. Her name was Claudia. Coming clean, I fell for Claudia immediately. I really took a liking to her. I know this is an old story of me always coming clean and meeting people. It's just the way I am, the way I was. And I met her, and we started talking, and we started making sure that we're in the same group therapy and in the same groups together, so we could be close and talk to each other. It was good fun. I would see her in the mornings when I'm on my way back from the gym. She'd shout out the window and wave. We'd send letters across to each other just to, it made the time go past, and it was good for both of us. We both felt it. Then after a little bit of time, she was going on her leave. She was granted leave, and she went on leave, and while she was on leave, she promised me to phone her every day, which I did. And then the one day I phoned, and she broke down into tears. She had relapsed. I done my best to talk her through it and to give her strength and give her hope and let her know that relapse happens. Don't give up. It was more selfish than anything else. I was more worried that she's not going to come back after her leave. I really wanted her to come back. I missed her. And so I talked to her. I gave her support through that. She did come back. When she came back, she also, they tested her. However they done it, apparently they drink Dettol. I've never done it. She drank some Dettol, so she tested negative. They never knew that she had been using. And we carried on seeing each other, and she carried on doing her time to get finished with the rehab. When she finished, we made arrangements that we keep in touch and keep talking. We were almost a couple, So we done that, and then I got leave. And we arranged that I'll go to her place to go see her. She came through all the way on a train. She came by train. She met me in Pretoria. We went all the way back to her place just for a weekend. It was a good weekend. I really enjoyed it. She was good to me. I met her parents and her sister. They were all very good people. It was really enjoyable. After the weekend, when I left, she actually got me a carton of cigarettes, which was very nice of her to take back with me. I took the cigarettes back with me, and they gave me a lift back to the camp, which I was so grateful for. And then she left, and I stayed. So then we used to speak. We used to speak daily on the phone, or every second day, whenever I could get a chance to get to the phones. She would say she's going to phone me at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would say, you better let me see if you do. And I'd be waiting at that call box at 6, and she'd phone. And I must say, and all the time, she never let me down. Anytime she said she's going to phone, she did. I was there. And so things were good. And then I went to, all of a sudden, the camp had a random drug test for the whole camp. They tested everybody. We weren't sure why. The night before, there had been 2 or 3 vans that had come and brought a whole lot of homeless kids or people from the locations or around, brought them there to come stay as well, which we were very confused about. We weren't unsure all the other patients that were there. So they tested everybody, and when I had to go to be tested, I went and I couldn't pass water straight away, so I had to stand in the bathroom and drink water, and I done that, and it took a while. I took a while, and eventually, I just couldn't pass water for them. So, I had to come back later and do it, and I did. And then the following day, they called everybody into the hall. We were all in the hall, and they called names of certain people, and I was one of the names that they called. And they asked everybody else to leave, and we stayed. And then they let us know that we've all been expelled from the rehab because we were all found positive. Again, I know it sounds ridiculous, but please no. This is just my story I'm telling. I'm at home. I've got no reason to lie. I've been clean 13 years, going on 14 now. I don't need to lie about this. It's the second time now that I'm telling you I was accused falsely inside the rehab of, and of all things, of smoking weed. I'm not a weed smoker. I never have been. It's something that I just couldn't do. I really didn't enjoy it at all. It wasn't for me. So no, I was completely innocent and falsely accused. And I had a big fight with the psychologist. A big fight with her, a big fight with the owner of the place, and they were all just, no, it's your test was, what did they say? It wasn't that I came back positive. It was invalid or something. They couldn't tell. So because of that, they take it on the negative, and that's it. You turned out that you had drugs in your system. You have to go. I panicked because I was under section, so I thought I'm going to get sent back to prison. But I didn't. I just got kicked out, so I could just pack my things and leave. And that's what I done. I packed my things, I phoned Claudia, I let her know, and I went to her place. Again, I was quite happy. Everything was good. We were good together. I was staying there with her. I was there for about a week, and unfortunately, I started to get that itch to start using again. And I made an excuse, and I said to her that I need to go see my mom. I haven't seen my mom. I need to go see them. And she said, okay, I must come back after I've seen them and that. I said yes. And I left her place that night on the train to go to my mom. And that's not where I went. I went straight back to Rosettenville, started using again. It was such a mess. Everything was falling apart around me. I had no more clothes left from all the moving I had done. I was looking terrible. I was dirty. This after a couple of days, because I never went back to Claudia. I did find out later that apparently she had gone to Rosettenville to look for me, which of course she would never have found me. There's so many different little drug dens a person could be in, she wouldn't find me. And I just continued using, and she obviously gave up on me at some time. I gave up on myself, and then eventually I got arrested for the very last time. I got arrested, and in the court, when I got arrested, I pleaded drug addict, that I wanted to go to court. I wanted to go to rehab, and I had to wait to see what would happen. After appearing 2 or 3 times, this is a month or 2 or 3 months later, they denied it. Obviously, they said you had been in rehab. That doesn't help. You need to do your time, and I was going to be sentenced. So with everything that had happened, I basically just put myself back into this hole where I was. I had so many opportunities to come clean and for things to come right, and so many people that had helped me, and yet I had walked away from it all. So when the prosecutor came to the court and they denied the rehab, he also came with the SAP 69 to say that I had used a different name. I've been untruthful. I'm a habitual criminal. They've got my other cases. And so when sentencing was done, they sentenced me that case, plus they sentenced me all the other suspended sentences that I still had running, which was 3 or 4 of them, I think. So the time ended up to be about 3.5 years or something equivalent. It was close to that. I accepted it. When I left that court, I knew there's nothing I could do about it, and I knew my time had come. This was it. There was nothing I could do. So I walked out there quite calm, knowing what my fate is. I didn't have any choice on what to do, and I just accepted it. I went back to Sun City. I let the guys know. I stayed in the cell with somebody that I knew. He was the cleaner of the cell, so he gave me a job of also cleaning, which just meant I could stand when other people had to sit, and I cleaned basins and I made cigarettes out of doing that. So that was my way to survive while I was there. And I was there for quite a while. I was there for a long time. I don't want to say exactly how many months, because I'm not sure. It could have even been close to a year, but I'm not sure how long it was. Because I was in and out of courts, drug and rehab, and in and out of courts for sentencing. So I don't know how long it was. I just know that the remands are always like 2 months or 3 months in between. So it was quite long. And then eventually I got drafted again. And this draft took me to Devon prison, a pre-release prison that I had wanted to go to. I'm not going to let this book go over this 15 minutes. So I'll talk about Devon prison, and my release from there, and now when life starts getting a whole lot better. This is when things start changing for the better. My life starts taking a better turn. So make sure you watch the next couple of books, because they're a whole lot more light-hearted and a whole lot better than all the previous have been. Yes, it's the beginning of my recovery. So I really want you to watch that. Thanks for watching again. Please subscribe, so I know you're still watching. On AIDS for Addict, subscribe there, and then yeah, share my videos with whoever you think it might help or might need it. It's simply to show that there is recovery after no matter how long of heavy addiction, and it's to alleviate the hurt that I've been feeling all these years. And after 21 books, I am feeling a whole lot better. So thank you all for that. My name's Rodney. I'm an addict. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.